You wake up one morning and something inside you is heavier than the blanket on your chest. A weight you didn't choose, a silence you didn't ask for, a storm you're tired of fighting. You look at the ceiling and it feels like it's looking back at you, quiet, unmoved, uninterested in your struggle. And yet, something in you whispers, rise. Not loudly, not dramatically, just a quiet pull in the dark. Because deep down, you already know the truth. No one is coming to save you, Marcus Aurelius said. Look well into yourself. There is a source of strength that will always spring up if you will always look. And so you breathe, just one breath, but it's enough to remind you that you are still here. You sit with your pain, and for the first time, you don't run from it. You let it speak. You let it tell its story. You let it wash over you, like cold water over tired hands. Because you finally understand, you cannot heal what you refuse to feel. The world calls you weak for hurting. But you know now, feeling deeply is not weakness. Suppressing everything until you break, that is weakness. So you face the storm, not with anger, not with fear, but with presence, with acceptance, with the calm of someone who has been knocked down many times and still takes one more breath. You remember Seneca's words? Sometimes even to live is an act of courage. And today, that courage is enough. You step into your day, not because you feel strong, but because you refuse to let the weight define you. You walk through rooms where your past still echoes. You pass mirrors that once reflected someone you didn't recognize. You feel the old shadows reaching for you, the mistakes, the regrets, the moments you wish you could rewrite. But today, you do something different. You stop running from them. You stop hiding. You stop pretending. You stand still, and you look your past directly in the eyes. And you say, I am not you anymore. The world has tried to shape you, with noise, with pressure, with expectations. But the Stoics knew the real battle is always inside. Epictetus said, you may fetter my leg, but not even Zeus can overpower my will. And this becomes your truth, your will, your fire. You realize strength was never loud, never dramatic. Strength was always the quiet choice. To try again, when the world expected you to fold, you keep walking, one step, then another. Each one a declaration, each one a small rebellion. Against the heaviness that tried to claim you, you start noticing the world again. The way the light enters the room, the way the air moves across your skin, the way your heartbeat, steady, patient, keeps you company even when no one else does. You realize you've survived storms you told no one about, battles fought behind closed doors, nights that felt like endings, but weren't. You're still here, and there is something sacred in that. You begin to understand. Pain did not come to punish you. It came to teach you what strength actually is. Not the kind you see in heroes, not the kind sung about in movies, but the quiet strength of a soul that has been broken and still chooses to heal. You walk into the evening, and the sky looks different, more open, more honest, as if the world itself is finally reflecting the truth you carry. You remember Aurelius again? Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself. And slowly, you begin to understand. Not everything will go your way. Not every dream will arrive on time. Not every person will stay. But you will remain. You will endure. You will rebuild. Life bends you, but it does not break you. Life tests you, but it does not own you. Life wounds you, but you are not the wound. You are the healing. You are the breath between storms. You are the quiet resilience that refuses to die. You start letting go, not because you are weak, but because you are finally strong enough to release what was never meant to stay. Old bitterness, old versions of yourself, old promises that no longer fit the person you're becoming. You drop them, one by one, like stones from your pockets, and you feel lighter, calmer, more honest with yourself. You begin to trust life again, not blindly, not foolishly, but with the conviction of someone who has walked through darkness and learned to carry their own light. And slowly, you begin to rise, not in one moment, not in one day, but in the quiet accumulation of small choices, small victories, small acts of courage. You realize the world never needed you to be perfect. It just needed you to be here, awake, present, alive. Every breath is a beginning. Every moment is an invitation. Every setback is a lesson, written in the language of resilience. And you are learning. You are becoming. You are unfolding into something steady, intentional, unshakable. You finally understand the ancient truth. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. So you breathe again, and for the first time, in a long, long while, the air feels clean, the world feels open, the weight feels lighter. Because something inside you has shifted, something silent, but powerful, something calm, but unstoppable. The storm inside you has not disappeared, but you have learned how to stand in the rain without bowing your head. You have learned the art of staying present, staying patient, staying human, even when the world tried to turn you into something hardened and cold. And now, you rise, not as who you were, not as who they wanted, but as who you are becoming. A quieter soul, a deeper soul, a soul that has known pain and still chooses peace, a soul that has known loss and still chooses gratitude, a soul that has known fear and still chooses to walk forward. You are not done. You are only beginning. And tomorrow, when the world grows loud again, when life tests you again, when the old shadows try to pull you back, you will remember this moment, this breath, this quiet strength, because you have seen yourself now. Not the version shaped by fear, not the version lost in doubt, but the version that refuses to surrender, the version that rises and rise. You will. You walk forward, and with each step, the world becomes a little less frightening, not because it has changed, but because you have. You no longer move like someone running from their past. You move like someone finally walking toward their life. The shadows behind you still whisper. They still try to call you back to the versions of yourself that lived in fear, in doubt, in quiet suffering. But you've learned a truth most people never discover. The past only has power when you bow your head to it. And today, your head is unbowed. You breathe deeper. You stand taller. Your steps, though quiet, carry the weight of a soul that has survived itself. And that is a rare kind of strength. You remember Seneca again. No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself. And everything in you whispers, you have been tested. You have been proven, not in public, not with applause, but in the silence of your own battles. You begin moving through your day with new eyes. You stop trying to outrun your emotions, and instead you listen to them. You let them rise. You let them fall. You watch them like waves, not to drown in them, but to learn from their rhythm. Some waves carry anger, some carry grief, some carry memories you thought you had buried. And still, you stand, you breathe, you allow, you endure, because you finally understand what the Stoics understood, that nothing inside you is your enemy, only your resistance to it. You walk through the world with a quieter heart now, not empty, not numb, but measured, disciplined, intentional, a heart learning that not every thought deserves belief, and not every feeling deserves obedience. You begin to separate yourself from the storms inside you. This is fear, you say. It is not me. This is doubt. It is not me. This is pain. It is not me. And for the first time, you feel the difference between who you truly are and what merely passes through you. You breathe easier. You hurt cleaner. You think clearer. This is the birth of inner peace. Not the loud kind, not the dramatic kind, but the slow, patient reshaping of a soul learning to stand still in a world addicted to noise. You begin practicing something new, something rare. You pause before reacting, before judging, before assuming, before surrendering to the old patterns that once ruled your life. You pause, you listen, you choose. Action, not impulse. Clarity, not chaos. Will, not fear. Epictetus whispers in your mind, circumstances don't make the man. They only reveal him to himself. And now, you finally see yourself. You see the strength that was always hidden beneath the hurt. You see the calm that lived beneath the fear. You see the resilience that grew in the cracks of your suffering. And you begin to trust yourself. Not blindly, not recklessly, but with a quiet confidence you've earned in silence. As the day stretches on, you feel life tugging at you again, pulling you into its chaos, its noise, its unpredictable storms. But this time, you don't tense, you don't panic, you don't shrink. You breathe, you straighten your spine, you anchor your feet to the moment. You become the calm in your own life, not because the world softened, but because you hardened in the right way. Not brittle, not cold, but firm, grounded, aligned with something deeper than emotion or circumstance or fear. You begin to understand the art of carrying yourself. You speak less because you listen more. You demand less because you expect from yourself now. You rush less because you no longer fear being late to a destiny that is already yours. You walk through the evening, slowly, intentionally, letting the world pass as it passes, knowing that your peace is not tied to anything you cannot control. You release what isn't yours. You protect what is, your energy, your mind, your breath, your inner world. And in that quiet protection, you rediscover something you thought you had lost, your power. Not the power to control life, but the power to control yourself as life unfolds. A power no one can give you, a power no one can take, a power carved from every moment you chose to rise instead of retreat. The night arrives slowly, soft, patient, unhurried. You sit with yourself, not as a stranger, but as someone finally returning home after a long journey through the desert of their own mind. And in the stillness, you whisper a truth you once feared to believe. I am enough. Not because you are perfect, not because everything is solved, but because you are becoming someone you can rely on, someone steady, someone grounded, someone real. Tomorrow will bring new storms, new challenges, new tests of your will, but you do not fear them now because you have learned the most important lesson. The storm inside you is finally quieter than the strength within you. The night settles around you like a dark, warm blanket, not threatening, not heavy, just honest. For the first time in a long time, you aren't afraid of the quiet. You aren't afraid of being alone with your thoughts, your memories, your wounds. You sit in the dim light, and something inside you softens. The armor you carried for years, the walls, the masks, the silent defenses, they begin to loosen, not fall away entirely, not vanish in a dramatic burst, but loosen, just enough for a little light to enter. You let yourself breathe into it, a slow inhale, a slower exhale. You can almost hear your own soul, tired, aching, but ready to stop surviving and start living. You look back on the journey that brought you here, and you realize something powerful. You never truly broke. You bent, you trembled, you hit the floor more times than anyone will ever know. But you didn't break. You're still here, still breathing, still capable of rising. And that makes you unrepeatable. You remember Aurelius' quiet truth. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. And suddenly, your suffering makes sense. Not as punishment, not as fate, but as a teacher, a sculptor, a fire that shaped you without your permission, yet gave you strength you never knew you carried. You look at your reflection in the window. It's faint, soft, dim in the low light, and yet it's honest, more honest than any mirror you've ever stood before. You see the lines of someone who has endured. You see the quiet dignity of someone who learned how to heal themselves in silence. You see the spark of someone who is not done yet, not even close. You whisper to that reflection, I forgive you, not for weakness, not for falling, not for your past, but for the years you blamed yourself for being human. Something shifts inside you, subtle but profound. Forgiveness, the rarest form of strength, the beginning of true peace. You step outside into the night air. It greets you cool, gentle, inviting. The world feels wider at night, as if the darkness removes all the unnecessary noise and leaves you only with the truth. You start letting go, not because you are weak, but because you are finally strong enough to release what was never meant to stay. Old bitterness, old versions of yourself, old promises that no longer fit the person you're becoming. You drop them, one by one, like stones from your pockets, and you feel lighter, calmer, more honest with yourself. You begin to trust life again, not blindly, not foolishly, but with the conviction of someone who has walked through darkness and learned to carry their own light. And slowly, you begin to rise, not in one moment, not in one day, but in the quiet accumulation of small choices, small victories, small acts of courage. You realize the world never needed you to be perfect. It just needed you to be here, awake, present, alive. Every breath is a beginning. Every moment is an invitation. Every setback is a lesson. written in the language of resilience. And you are learning. You are becoming. You are unfolding into something steady, intentional, unshakable. You finally understand the ancient truth. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. So you breathe again, and for the first time in a long, long while, the air feels clean, the world feels open, the weight feels lighter. Because something inside you has shifted, something silent, but powerful, something calm, but unstoppable. The storm inside you has not disappeared, but you have learned how to stand in the rain without bowing your head. You have learned the art of staying present, staying patient, staying human, even when the world tried to turn you into something hardened and cold. And now you rise, not as who you were, not as who they wanted, but as who you are becoming. A quieter soul, a deeper soul, a soul that has known pain and still chooses peace, a soul that has known loss and still chooses gratitude, a soul that has known fear and still chooses to walk forward. You are not done. You are only beginning. And tomorrow, when the world grows loud again, when life tests you again, when the old shadows try to pull you back, you will remember this moment, this breath, this quiet strength, because you have seen yourself now. Not the version shaped by fear, not the version lost in doubt, but the version that refuses to surrender, the version that rises and rise. You will.